But yeah, just keep going and then let me know what you get. Yeah. But yeah, let me just make sure I've got everything. Okay. So we got this here. It says here is triangle ABC. We've got two sides, 4.1, 5.3. We've got an angle between 110. They've told us to calculate the value of x. Now, the way I'm looking at this is that straight away it's trig. Now, they're asking me to find the value of x. What I can see straight away is that, well, if I've got the angle x here, I've got the opposite side, which is 5.3. Yeah? And then I've got this one here, 110, but I don't know this side. So what I'm looking at straight away is that for me, straight away, I'm thinking of the sine rule, aren't I? Because I've got the angle x here, which I'm looking for, sine x, divided by the side opposite, which is 5.3, and then equal to that angle, sine 110, right? However, we don't know this side here, yeah? So I'm looking at the sine rule because I can see the patterns of it. I've got an angle and the opposite side and so on and so forth, but I don't know what that side is with the question mark. However, if I did know that side, I'd be able to answer the question because I would have a value for the question mark, rearrange, get x, easy. Now, we need to figure out what that question mark is, in other words, A to C. Now, can somebody tell me what do I need to do? What rule do I need to use to calculate that side with the question mark? Exactly. Thank you very much, Emilio. It's the cosine rule. And how do you know which rule to use? This is very important. Well, when you're dealing with the cosine rule, right, I'll just show you. Let me just put this here. Got something on the side here. Where is it? Where is it gone? Yeah, this thing right here. Yeah. So I got this from one of our lesson plans here that we did in I think it was in January. Let me just check when we did it. Cosine rule, 17th of Jan here. Yeah. Let me just get this actually because it's actually better. But yeah, remember when we did it in January? The cosine rule. The cosine rule can be used to work out missing sides or angles of triangles. Here is the size formula. A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. This version of the cosine rule is used to find a missing side if you know two sides and the angle in between. So let's look at these questions that we did when we did it. Can you see the way I'm highlighting it? I've got all of this here. I've got two sides, 13 and 10, and the angle in between 100. This one, I've got two sides, 15 and 12, and the angle in between 20. So when we go back to our lesson today, we have that exact same structure, don't we? Because, as you can see, we've got two sides, 4.1 and 5.3, and the angle in between. So I can definitely use the cosine rule to calculate this side, yeah? It's always the opposite side when you have this set up, yeah? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the cosine rule, yeah? Now, remember what the formula says. It's a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. And let me just get a triangle so you know what I mean. So let's say this is the angle A. This is the side little case A, and this is B and C. Can you see? B and C are here, right? B and C. And then the angle capital A is the one in between. So if I use that there, then it will just be, I'll call this side lowercase b. It will be b squared is equal to, and then 4.1, because that's one of the sides, plus 5.3, that's one of the other sides, and then minus 2 lots of 4.1 and 5.3 cosine of 110. Yeah? All right. So now I need to calculate this b squared here. I'm going to get my calculator. My calculator is here. You should see it in a second. So I've got this here. It's my calculator. And just as a note back, guys, your calculator should all have a D here. Yeah? Mine says R, because I teach A-level maths quite a lot as well as GCSE. So in A-level maths, we use different angle measurements. So I need to change this, which I'll do right now. I'm just going to go menu, set up angle unit 2. I'm going to change it to degrees. Yeah. And you'll see a D now. Now, very important. Your calculator should always have a D here. Should never be R. In GCSE, you only use degrees. So just make sure that your calculator has a D here. Yeah. It should be, but just be safe. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to put everything in now. 4.1 squared plus 5.3 squared minus 2 lots of 4.1 and 5.3, and then cosine of 110. Now remember, when you're doing these long-winded calculations, right, make sure whatever you've written down on your paper matches exactly what's on your calculator. You don't want to make silly mistakes and lose marks unnecessarily, right? 4.1 squared, fine, plus 5.3 squared, fine, minus 2.1 and 4.1, 5.3 cosine of 110, perfect. Click equals, this gives me this number here. It's 59.7641, blah, blah, blah. 59.7641, blah, blah, blah. Now to get B, I'm just going to square root and I'm going to put answer. Remember, I have this calculation stored in my calculator. I don't need to write it again. We're in an exam. We need to save time. I'm just going to do this, right? So this gives me B is equal to 7.73073, blah, blah, blah. So let me just double check that. Yeah, that's fine. So therefore, we know what that value would be. So that question mark, I'm going to rub it out, and I'm going to replace it with that value there. 7.73073, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Now, remember, we're trying to calculate the value of x. We can do that now because we just have this to solve. This is easy, right? We're going to first of all get rid of that division of 5.3 by multiplying both sides by it. So we're going to get this here, 7.7073, blah, blah, blah. And then going to times by that 5.3. I'm going to put this into my calculator, see what it gives me. Where's my calculator? It's right here. Now, remember, I have that value stored in my calculator. I don't need to write it again. Remember, we're in an exam. We need to save time. Yeah. So I'm going to put answer. I'm going to times that by 5.3. Yeah. Which is this number here, 0.6442. Yeah. Sine x is equal to 0.6442, blah, blah, blah. Now, how do I get x now? Easy. We just take the sine inverse. X will be equal to the sine inverse, and I'm going to write answer again because I have that calculation stored. I don't need to write it again. We need to save time. Yeah. So x will equal, and I'm just going to do shift sine inverse answer. This gives me 40.1 to 3 significant figures. And well done to Emilio because he gave me the correct answer in the chat. Did anybody else get this correct?